Hey guys, Will here, welcome back to the channel. Now, about 2 weeks ago, I put together a video outlining a pretty major bug with the F1 2018 Formula 1 game that I've been playing a lot of recently. So basically what was happening was the lower your frames per second, or FPS, was, the higher tire temperature was, and that was leading to all sorts of problems with grip and tire degradation and stuff like that, and leading to a lot of inconsistencies when playing online, especially, you know, playing in a league with lots of different people that have different frame rates. You know, you'd have some people that's tires were really hot, some people its tires were cold, and you know, it really made the whole thing a real mess. So what we did was a bit of an analysis just to prove that this was in fact a thing. We did a bunch of different tests at various different frame rates and basically concluded unequivocally that there absolutely was a correlation between the frames per second and the tire temperature. So we posted up that video. We absolutely spammed the crap out of it everywhere to try and make sure that Codemasters would see the video. The F1 2018 community also got behind it. It got a whole bunch of views in the first 24 hours or so. So after about 24 hours or so, Codemasters actually responded on Twitter, which was actually quite surprising. I didn't think that I would get a response at all. And basically said, thank you very much for letting us know about the issue. And we're working on seeing if there's something that we can do about it in the short term to fix it for this version of the game. So we kind of all thought that we probably wouldn't see a fix for this until F1 2019. So the fact that they were actually acknowledging it and working on a fix was really cool. So fast forward a couple of days, and one of the guys in the league that I race in actually noticed that a new fork had been created in the SteamDB repository, which basically meant that indeed they were working on some kind of a patch. Now, we didn't know whether that was for the tire bug or anything like that. All we knew is that they were working on something, and they didn't respond again on Twitter or anything like that. They didn't make any statements, at least that I saw. So then fast forward about 10 days from when we initially received a response from Codemasters, and a new patch version 1.16 was released on Steam. So let me just quickly read out the patch notes for you quickly now. So patch version 1.16 is now live on Steam. It contains an update for tire physics issue, where the temperatures behave differently depending on the frame rate. The fix will bring temperature behavior in line across all three platforms, PC, PS4 and Xbox One, and regardless of the frame rate. As we've previously commented, we log and assess all user feedback which we receive via our online channels. In some situations, we're able to act upon issues more readily than others, depending on the complexity and development requirements. In this instance, we felt we could quickly and safely apply an important fix which would impact on the validity of players' performance in games. So that was awesome. They basically directly responded to the community's request to have this fixed immediately. Now, obviously, there are a lot of other bugs in F1 2018 that people are quite upset about wanting to get fixed. Things like the frame skipping and the desync issues, which we still haven't seen a fix for, but at least we know that Codemasters is listening to us and they are fixing things as quickly as possible where it's viable to do so. So what we're going to be doing in this video is actually doing some comparison tests. So we're going to have another look at the results that we got from the previous test and compare them directly to the results that we get now with the new patch. So we're going to do a test at 30 frames per second, 50 frames per second, and 120 frames per second. The reason we're choosing those particular FPS is that 30 and 50 were by far the worst frame rates in terms of tire wear. We found that the tire wear was pretty linear in terms of how it scaled alongside frame rate, except for around the 50 frames per second mark. For some reason, at 50 frames per second, it was particularly bad. So we're testing at 30, 50, and then we're going to compare to 120 frames per second as well, just to see what the variation is now. So we'll be doing 30, 50, and 120 simultaneously, replaying our old test from version 1.15. And then below that, I'm going to show you the exact same test run at exact same frame rates with the new patch applied, and we'll see if it's fixed the issue. So let's get stuck into it. Okay, so as you can see, it is definitely fixed now. There is no question at all that those tire temperatures are now consistent across all the various different frame rates that we tested. I actually did run multiple tests as well just to make sure there were no anomalies. Didn't see any issues at all. Now, one other question that I do just want to quickly address as well is, are people that were running crazy high frame rates previously being disadvantaged by this? If you were running, say, at 180 frames per second or 200 or 250 frames per second previously and getting really, really low tire temperatures as a result, are you now going to be disadvantaged by this fix that brings the tire temperatures into line? Now, obviously, in saying that, it's important that, you know, if you're racing online, you want everybody to be, you know, having the same experience, and you want the tire temperatures to be consistent based across different people's driving styles, because otherwise it's not fair and it's really not fun competing against people that have an unfair competitive advantage. But nonetheless, we do want to see if this makes a difference. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bump my graphics settings right down, crank my resolution down as well, and run this at the absolute maximum frame rate that I possibly can on my machine, which is an average of around about 250 frames per second, and we'll see whether we get the exact same tire temperatures when we run at 250 frames per second. We can compare that back against our previous tests as well. So let's have a look at that now.
seconds. This is your final lap of the race. This is your final lap of the race.
Okay, so as you can see, regardless of how high you go with your frames per second, the tire temperatures remain consistent, which is really, really good news, especially for people that are racing in leagues. It means that we're going to have much more competitive and much more fair racing, which is awesome. So thank you very much, guys, for sharing around the original video. I think that, you guys getting behind it and sharing it and, really getting behind Codemasters and saying, guys, we really want this fixed has really made a difference. And it's awesome to know that, us YouTubers can make a difference in a positive light when we get behind these sorts of things and push for a fix. So thank you very much once again, guys, for supporting these videos. We've got a whole bunch more content coming in the near future, as well as some more online racing streams as well. Now, I'm also going to be getting into a bit of Dirt Rally 2 as well, which we'll be streaming on our Twitch channel. So check out the link below for that. But for now, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you found it useful and helpful, please do hit the like and the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell as well so you don't miss the next video, and I will see you soon. Bye.